Oh yeah, Talking Point platform, TTPTV. Oh yeah, Unale we pledge, we love and loyalty to we sweet, sweet mama Saleone. Now we all come together as one. For tomorrow, now we go make Saleone.
One at all times.
In addition to the general elections, the Commission conducted 8 by-elections, 3 parliamentary and 5 local councils under the period of review, which the Electoral Commissioner claimed were largely peaceful, commended by international and local observers to be transparent, credible, and acceptable. Salifu Cherno Kamara, AYV News.
Family, welcome back. Don't forget for saying for watching our AYV News on Facebook, and then we're 101.7, and of course that's of DSTV channel 399. Make we continue to another story. Meanwhile, some young people around Freetown, we don't tell AYV say they want government for get a concrete entrepreneurship and innovative technical job for ensure that they will succeed for the 50,000 job for the next 5 years with President BUB promise and all. Manifesto. This story be compiled by Sori Ibrahim Amara and be read at the studio by Marina Terry. Make we check the highlights.
Over the years, studies have shown that employment for young people in Sierra Leone has been a very big challenge, even though they constitute the highest number in the country's population, with an estimate of 62.5% according to the 2021 census. After President Bio promised to give 500,000 jobs to young people in the country, some young people share their expectations.
For instance, let's say the women, which are weaker vessels, we are exposed. If the government can bring a creative innovations for us, for example, Ghana tie-dyeing, makeup artisan, tailoring, entrepreneurship as a whole, and it's being monitored and sponsored. We can learn this trade.
Years back, I launched a Munafa phone loan, wherein plenty young people we are given loans with regards to their small and medium businesses. So this is an opportunity to see how best they invest more in small and medium businesses. And also, it's not only to focus on the formal sector, we also have the informal sector. We have the tech folk, we have institutions and so on that he can put modalities in place, invest in their much capitals. Also, it's
life to deal with. We have things we need to do on a daily basis. So we can afford to work a full-time job. We can only afford to work a part-time job. So I'd like him to emphasize on areas that I think we will be able to work and also be able to achieve our educational achievements that are waiting us.
Global Youth Network is one of the leading youth organizations that is pushing for youth empowerment and employment in the country. The founder of the Global Youth Network, Musa Khalil Koroma, sheds light on 3 specific areas of job creation the government should empower in order to succeed.
Recommendation. So there are 3 focus areas that I would definitely want to recommend around employment promotion, especially in terms of the President's initiative. One, I'll talk about youth entrepreneurship development. Entrepreneurship is one of the ways by which naturally you can be able to create employment. So you provide the environment, the space for young people to go into entrepreneurship, understand? So we provide the opportunities where they can go and access basic skills on ICT, how they can be able to use computers, how they can be able to express themselves, how they can be able.
Musa also lauded the president, stating that he has showcased his utmost desire for young people by appointing some of them in strategic positions in his government. Marina Terry, AYV News.
Now, the presidential spokesperson, Honorable Alpha Kanu, don't say the future of Saloon people there Then at the hand of the young and vibrant people the way they occupy strategic office in the country. Honorable Kanu we don't spend over 20 consecutive years inside government. However, being get for urge young people then for ensure say they're able to deliver within a different position we then trust them with. If they talk on the recent appointments of young people where President Bill been do for serve in cabinet and other position, then they will take the story.
The Big Five manifesto of President Bio, second term, among others, highlights the key priority areas that ranges from agriculture, education, job employment, and health, among others. The promise of President Julius Maada Bio has been demonstrated on his recent appointment of young people in his cabinet. Something Honorable Alpha Khan, who is the presidential spokesperson, believes has the potential to transform the country and improve on the continuous development pattern by President Bio government.
His promises that he will give a lot of space to young people to come into the governance of the country, to women to come into the governance of the country, even stipulating that by parliamentary legislation, making it a matter of law that any governance institution should have at least 30% quota for women. He has exceeded that. He has given the women about 36% in cabinet now, and he has given the young people another 34%. And he made sure that most of the cabinet, about 30% of them, are below 40 years. So it is a first, not only in Sierra Leone, not only in Africa, but in the world, where the governance of the state is now in the hands of the young people. And these young people have no more reason to complain that they've been sidelined, they've been ostracized, they've been kept out of governance. They are now fully in the driving seat.
Meanwhile, Honorable Alpha Khan called on the main opposition, All People's Congress Party, to have a rethink about their decision not to participate in governance.
The positions you are taking, the measures you are taking, they are wrong. Constitutionally wrong, morally wrong, and even the people who voted for you are not happy about it. So you will just kill the party. And I wouldn't like to see you kill the party. Please, rethink your position. There are other things. You can actually go into parliament and start whatever negotiations you want to do through your debate and all sorts of things. But if you're not there, how will people listen to you? There are two listening posts in our constitution. One is the court of law. You refuse to go there. So nobody will listen to you in court because you're not there to complain. Then the next one is parliament, where you can debate, where your people sent you.
All of these appointments by President Bio, it is expected that these young ministers will perform and deliver within their mandates. Mohamed Bakar Kamara, AYV News, Freetown.
Kamulemuna, welcome back. As I mentioned earlier, of course, this nice special edition of Wake Up Sierra Leone, as Sierra Leone decide also how to continue for deliberate on issues them and all. But of course, this morning, as I be telling you, we can't forget somebody from the ECSL, when Mr. Christopher A.A. Jones, when the Assistant Director of Media and Communication. And the GEFO can discuss. Welcome, sir. Good morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, GEFO can discuss to be about the annual report and the aftermath report also, we then be present to Julius Maada Bio. Of course, good morning, welcome back again. The report's now officially they're out there yet from a public will see and all, I believe so, but give us a synopsis of these reports, of both reports actually.
Well, the law takes inside section 32 of the National Constitution. It said the Chief Electoral Commissioner and the Board of Commissioners and for we annual reports to the President, and then for turn back, go lay and back in Parliament. At the one side of the business. Then section 52 of the Public Elections Act of 2022, it says where the National Returning Officer, when a Mohammed K. Kone, where you don't announce who that win the presidential election, it says for get certificates, we go prove say na in win. So now then two things that they carry the Board of Commissioners and go now State House yesterday. And inside the annual report, it talk about the achievements, the milestones from 2022. They talk about the appointment of the Commissioner of the Northern Region, Commissioner Abubakar Mahmoud Koroma. He also make mention about the infrastructure developments that don't take place. How don't get office now, the regional office now, McKinney, Bo, and Kenema, then the warehouse, solar panel, we are to UNDP, you go to Wellington, they do solar panel day. They also talk about the announcement. It's a president began for announce for PCMP elections. Then later, the Chief Electoral Commission will announce about the presidential, parliamentary, and local council election will go take place the 14th. We also talk about legal reforms all over the day inside the annual report. And inside the report, we also talk about the next fund, the National Election Sustainability Trust Fund, where that one day will tell to government because a credit fund where they will forget money adequately, timing, so for carry on with activities then. These are more of the other things that we mentioned inside the report for 2022. We don't go to the president yesterday.
Inside the annual reports, some of the milestones that we actually talk about, like how you mentioned the legal reform as well, where we see the enactment of the Public Elections Act 2002, and we already see the list where political parties then forgive, where of course we forget the provision of women's name inside, and they also mention the highlights of the amendments of the same section 32 of the Constitution for include, say, forget from 5 to 6 commissioners, just as you mentioned. Waiting are some of the other key milestones the way they inside the document.
Well, it also bring about the, it talk about the next funds, it also about the legal reform. You also talk about infrastructure development. You also talk about voter registration. You also talk about communication and electoral education. It tell the president, people they say, inside our report say, we sign MOU with AYV, we sign MOU with SABC, they will sign MOU with 19.1, and we also do flyers them, jingles them, and also talk about the collaboration with other stakeholders, the international as well as local. All of those things, the inside report, we make mention about, we present to Parliament, to President yesterday.
And of course, when I get for present back before Parliament.
Go back in Parliament, so the parliamentarian go debate about it.
Okay, so quickly before Sonia can say, you know, say every year definitely when they get strategic plan and all. So these reports will come for 2022. The strategic plan where the ECSL being get wanna achieve them.
Yes, I will say yes, we achieve because the biggest activity we plan for are for the elections, and we don't able to achieve elections. We get vacancies then, but as I'm speaking now, all the vacancies they don't fill up. So then one of the milestone achievement inside the strategic plan of 2020 to 2024, and we factor also inside the report. And then also we talk about voter registration, we look for the achievement. They will also get a plan for say, well, one for the infrastructure development, the offices them, Abo, we don't set them up, Kenema, we don't set them up, then even McKinney, we don't set them up. Then even with the rehabilitation, a big rehabilitation at the headquarters in our Tower in, then it's also now Wellington premises them. The house also put the generator, they renovate them. Also solar panel, they don't develop the Wellington premises, and also headquarters. Also, we say thank you to UNDP, but I said April side. So with all of that, with the inside strategic report, we will achieve all of that. And then we also, inside this strategic plan, we factor also on the report, we talk about say we will extend 10% increment of the polling centers there. And we're able to run it from 3,300 to 3,630 centers there. And then we also use GPS. We go for levy, make the centers the accessibility, give better access to the people that really go vote. All of that will be for achievement. So we say kudos to yourself for achieving.
So, Mr. Jones, you don't mention things of what you don't achieve based on the report when I present to Mother Bureau and all. So, and of course, I remember vividly after the whole ID card issues and all, ECS have made a promise that during the whole voting registration process, then go ensure for some people them get issues with the ID card and go replace and give them a new different ID card. A percentage was made. I couldn't really remember the full percentage. With ECSL, when I be promised for so I will give people a new identification card for the one that mainly with their own face will not be show clear at all. That was a promise where ECSL be made for say during the whole voting process, people who then card and get problem and go replace them and give them a proper one. We don't know if that be achieved, so we make you go deliberate on that. And then also there were another issues and we people who then be through the voting process, where they take part, ECSL team them, but they complain, we see on social media where they talk about say they may not be paid them the amount to ECSL be promised for give them as agreed. So how can I be able to tackle the issues and then concern them they come up, and how can I be able to achieve them?
Well, with the connection with the ID card, ID card and they don't print some. During the election, before the elections, new ID cards and become.
But I be give them on that, they has as I want to be promised.
Well, because of the challenges, the workload, the district office be so busy, they pay attention to the activities for bringing about the commencement of elections. But each of this district office. So it is intention that after this election on gone, so now, done, you will go to the district office and you go pick up the ID card. But the commission will put word in by when it will commence. So
yeah, because election actually don't pass, and it's been a while now.
And
all
use for the ID card after.
So when
yes,
we expect?
We'll also get other one elections where they carry the village head.
Yes, we understand.
What you need for using.
We understand, and I think before that appropriate for me ECSL for don't inform the public, because this is not promise one make. So if you don't go give a report saying that I don't achieve this, which of course I not actually completely achieved that and all, then I don't think it's supposed to be part of the report at all, because it's not been completed. Until the tax is done, then you go see the achieve.
What is important about voter registration?
No, part of it, the things they want
yes, we achieve voter registration. And from the number of people up to 3,000 and some hundred, who get ID card? I'm not saying you say get your voter ID card. So that small number, and I go dampen the big work we focus for achieve, and we achieve them. I will say we achieve them. Now small number, we never forget the ID card. And you know, we hinder them. Not for votes. Then we go to the polling stations and then we vote because the name then are the voter register.
But would they hope for you soon as to when people for go pick up their ID cards and they wanna be promised them the properly printed ID cards. So maybe talk about the side of USAI people and when they take part on the whole voting system. ECSL team then people wanna be appointed from different places. Them will be the raise concern for say the money we wanna be actually promised for give them for pay them not be actually happen. So there were so many concerns, and they even report to different blogs, them the screenshots and all them things, and they how do we for tackle that situation?
I want to say thank you to them and do big job, especially with this type of election with so many challenges. So many ask them, say thank you to them. The money was that the money no, the money they say thank you to the Irish aid when I provide for 92,000 staff total. Now, just documentation will be put in place to make sure, say, each person gets in money. We get two options so we look at. One, for paying through electronic means or paying at table. But all of that will be over very soon. We don't hear the single, for we don't take note of that, and we'll make it very fast. Latest next week, I'm pretty sure, because I'm speaking, the documentation preparation, they will get the money. It's a small patient.
But why not now? Because these things usually, if they try for avoid violence and incitement and things like that, these are all things when for try for prevent, we cannot even go out there or escalate and all. So why not we don't inform the people for say, okay, it could be so within period of time, we could make sure so when I get payments instead of giving them hopes, thinking that immediately after the whole election process and we'll get their money. But then
and with the staff as well, una get agreement as to when was the date when the payment due and all. When I exceed that same day, when I go back to the people there and communicate, say we not able to meet this date, when I communicate any further date.
Well, communication done with them because the recruitment go through from the headquarters to the district office. So each them, when they go to the office, they talk to them, they tell them the status. And then we say they use different means through jingle, and they call we send sub message to them for inform them. And we also use this platform this morning now. But they say, please exercise patience. The documentation will go over very soon, and they will get the money. And just because you take some staff then, even the day of the election, we take from the buffer because some people pressure, they're going to really left the work because they tension them and pressure them. So all of that documentation will go for fix them up. Because when you take money from UNDP for pay, you can get very effective document for retire back. So all of that we do them, and pretty soon, I'm sure next week the funds will be available for them. Be all ad hoc staff for these elections.
Well, we hope for a reform on soon with regards to that. But okay, so maybe we'll talk about the aftermath reports of the owner be present to BO. Like I said, we don't fully know what's inside the reports there because it's not out yet. But I believe we got on capture key areas them of things, them activities that will be happening during the election process. And one key thing now, the little violence that will be outbreak in some areas. So take us through the aftermath reports, please.
The aftermath of the elections?
Yes, reports.
Yeah. Well, overall, we say thank you to RESEF, and we say thank you to the political parties. We say thank you to government. We say thank you to UNDP. We say thank you to EU. All the other donors that we put small money for making the election go on successfully. They will say thank you to the political parties for their cooperation. Where they able to make sure say we all come together and do this work. And we'll say thank you to the electorate, despite the challenges, but to overcome the challenges. One good thing we say thank you to yourself. There are vacancies. You get over 493 councillors seats will become vacant. You get president seats become vacant. MP become vacant. But by the end of the day, as I'm speaking now, all the seats they will not fill up. So now kudos to the Electoral Commission, notwithstanding that the challenges like other countries them a day. But we will get time, we will look into that as ECSL, we'll get for sit down, we will look at our strength, our weaknesses, and moving forward, which will take lessons learned, all of those things.
So what's going to be the key things that will be captured inside the aftermath election report? The key areas they want to capture?
Well, one of the things we need to take into consideration are the deployment of materials adequately, the timing. We, like ballot paper will be sensitive material, it come quick, it come early. And I said, we attest to that. But to get breakdown of vehicles, bad roads, so take note of that. A very, very important thing. We will begin to look for a plan B, a part of the road network. What else can we do for the materials it will reach the assigned pooling centers within a period of time? The other thing we're very key, now staff. We're going for take note of. And then also we're going for take note of the security people there, of how we staff them, we manhandle them. That will be a very, very serious one week, so that we get for level the work. We permanent salary, we go for working a sentence up to 11 and 8. And it's very, very key, and that's what we'll take note of.
I believe say the reports actually also capture, like I don't mention some of them challenges here as well. We will go on for Yeri, but in details with also some of the recommendations then. We una self profile maybe for the next commissioner also we go sit down for conduct elections.
Well, recommendations and the kinds are small, because one law we talk about say Section 108 of the Public Elections Act, now 3 months. If we give you accreditation, you go observe elections, you go for sending your report. So the report on the kind side, ECSL will compile the report them, even the report from the different district office system, all will come in. When they put all of that all together, we'll go for the retreat, then we'll look at which one will be very important for take, which one we'll just put aside. But we are still they put together all the report and we'll analyze them.
Out of the 16 electoral districts, the way we get and we get over 3,000 polling centers, over 11,000 polling stations. You know, we don't get complaints or challenges again where other people they make mention of. What's now one of the unique or the similar challenge we've been there all through their centers here?
Well, some of the challenges they look different. One, the area for which some of the centers then, it will be some challenge. Despite what we increase all the centers by 10%, from 3,300 to 3,630 centers, open 11,832 police stations. But notwithstanding that, there are challenges at the centers that we cover to do. ECSL now the build centers, we not the build police stations. Now existing schools or community centers or barriers and now they use. But all of that is taken into consideration.
Okay, so we meant for understand, say out of them police station, then be ban or quarantine, or is it 102 or 120 and all? We not be the part of the whole counting system. We ECS will be banned due to violence and other things them and all. So one for know how been this whole counting thing of the votes them they come about. So we say they don't quarantine about 120 polling stations then.
And I get it clear, please.
There was a report where ECSL people wouldn't do the partial results of the 60 yes percent and all. And then after during the report, ECSL make mention of polling station then wouldn't be banned due to violence. They not go according to the whole process or policy where ECSL put in place. So that clearly don't have for say maybe that side they will not be touched at all, or even that then voters and they don't be counting them at all. Go on for no explain we was there and 120 polling station then they voting what is safe and ballot papers and be counted during the election process or not at all.
But what in the Chief Electoral Commission be say the law here mandate any survey confusion happen we make the process not end in our contact and the one day we become too violent with the in charge of the now the hand of the police. We could let police come out to their own report to for prejudice the investigation because most of them cases they turn up with confusion, violence, and scatter ballot papers and they wait for the police come out to with their findings. But what we do in concert with the law, any survey violence about the process not able to end. We go very difficult for make you know who the ballot paper is or what actually happened will not contact will left from our side.
Waiting at the response mechanism as well from the ECSL, because just as, like how would they get everybody coming up with their own observations or recommendations and waiting, how ECSL they able to address their recommendations, then they waiting on a response mechanisms and how efficient or effective the communications be from the ECSL?
Well, I would say it's too early for me to begin talk about the recommendations. As I say, it is typical in. We expect all the elections observation missions we don't observe when they submit to the report. We go analyze the report. Report will come from each district office. We will analyze them. At the end of the day, the one just like we do in 2018, we over 111 or more reports and we can say recommendations. We can say we see also we take go to legal reform where we change. We will use for this election. So we the same pattern we're going to follow back. When this one finally end, we will analyze them and see so we consult with stakeholders.
But you know, some of them reports here, you actually get preliminary reports then before having the final reports, or the commission they wait until you get the final report, or they actually respond to some of the preliminary reports.
No, we cannot respond now because the law say 3 months. So the preliminary, the end of the activity report, all put together, we will let for take them, analyze them one by one, and see which one necessary for uphold, which one necessary for redress, which one necessary for take to stakeholders. That's what we are going to do in the long run.
So of course we get international observers. I mean there were concerns being raised and all in terms of transparency, integrity, and all these things so on. And I believe then we get a situation room where ECS will be highly they take part of as well. And there were so many concerns. Of course, that side they don't pass. We're trying to move forward now and on. But how now before tackle and address the issues and the way citizens
still forget it clearly.
Oh, okay. Sorry, make I talk a bit louder. So with regards to so that we get international observers them, and I meant for understand so then they get a press briefing with ECSL and other stakeholders, then more than be partner with ECSL for so the election goes smooth. And then we raise concerns, and some of them, even when we don't travel, go back now then different destinations, then we tweet and all this, so on and all these things. And of course, we get a situation room now that is such as the Radisson, and then that's of Bintumani and concerns, and we deal them with the come up and all these things. And I believe ECSL work strongly with the that of the situation room. How do we tackle their issues then?
Well, all what I was saying in connection with as far as recommendation is concerned, report is concerned, I keep saying that let us wait.
Okay.
Because all recommendations, reports, they filter into the Board of Commissioners then. They in turn will analyze them in collaboration with the technical staff. And then we go follow the usual pattern. Who's one necessary for go for legal reform, who's one we on staff, who's one we need for consult with stakeholders, we'll do all of that as against the next cycle we go ready for next set of elections. But for now, it is too early. Reports are coming in. We look at the reports, them, everything. Then we'll come on and do whatever them.
You make mention of police investigating some of them, police station, they will get some cast them and all. So like how soon, because election don't pass, we're heading to almost a month after elections now, and yet we'll not get the results, and yet we'll not know really within the police then findings. How soon you think they go bring how soon they go bring the report the police side?
Well, this is the post period. You see, we get three. We get the pre, we get election. So election will get on the post now. And the post will take some time. And the post will get for Sodom. We'll look, strength, weaknesses. We evaluate yourself. Look at the reports them.
When I intend for them, give it like time.
Pretty soon. You see, we are not in a haste. He says, no, let's do something in a rush. We'll make sure we do something, we'll do them in consonance with the law. We'll say, oh, because we are pressured by people that know we will come and do something, they say no. So let us wait, exercise patient. ECSL will put out Nado for the report, we'll look at it all and see who's one weakness on the part of the staff, who's one are the law way weak, all of that we'll take into consideration. But all the activities are in consonance with the law. So let us wait. We still get time. The law says 3 months. So if you know even this is July, you know even 2 months it. But before that, the ECSL will come on and do say, well, now the report is and so we'll talk to them about
okay, so when ECSL will make this annual report presented to Mother Bio and that of the aftermath election report out to the public, make people really see the things they want to be captured. Or is it after the whole parliamentary debate and all? When it will be out officially out to the public? When the reports then will be officially out to the public for people to come and see within the ECSL then be captured.
The outcome of this election be successful.
No, the
reports, challenges, strength, whatever, go out to the public. Pretty soon, the Commission will put what now do for looking at the report. As long as observers tender the report to we will look them, analyze them, who's one for engage with stakeholders for see who's one will accept, who's one not going to accept. We will not sit alone within ourselves. We will discuss them and the public will know what are the outcome of the reports from different elections observation mission.
Again, I go one for know how I can engage Saleone people then because of day when gap day in communications can make people who tend for believe anything where they listen or make up their own news or information. How effective the commission they for communicate to people and let them know say now this work now yeah we they at the moment. After this we they address this. After this we they address this. How efficient the communication strategy they in the commission?
Accreditation.
The communication.
Communication. We have within that. That's where we will get a whole department. Of course, there are 2 departments. They work side by side. We have the Department of Electoral Education, where they educate the public on the activities of the commission. They get the Media and Communication Department, when I offend myself. And we get different forms for each other. The first part, of course, whatever we want for discuss, we first of all reach out to the political parties on committee meeting. There is a meeting we can call every 2 weeks. If there is any pending issue of reports of challenges after the election, we will first take out to the PPLC meeting, where we will meet with all registered political parties, discuss our time. Then we go to the media. We get different forms. Come to AIV, SLBC, so many of them we go for reach out to the people and tell them what is the plan and moving forward.
How frequent when I can reach out?
As frequently as possible, When they get so many calls and there are so many radio stations where they open and we do best for attend, and we can also add to the media team for get more attention to the people and for talk to people because it is very, very important that the people know what to do when one for them. So they reach out And most times either we can use jingles for reach out, we can use flyers, or they use what we call leaks. Local electoral education committee within each community we set up. We also they use billboards. We also they use town criers. So we also they're going to read, as I'm speaking now, whether a director, then a SLBC, maybe an AYV. So all of that will use it for reach out.
From the just concluded elections, now on the part of ECSL, waiting are some of the lessons then where the commission is self-land?
I don't bring out some of the lessons than before. I'll continue to bring more. One is the road challenge. The road a challenge for we. Because a challenge for we still say we need to spend more time for plan, for deploy adequately. Timing, because when we late, if we're late for deploy, there will be a bad road, breakdown of vehicles, and a problem. Then the other problem, vehicles. Vehicles give me a serious problem. So our lessons will go for stop. As I say, early, because we want to begin treat one, take all of that, because each district officer who send in a report, what are your challenge you get from Kenema for each other to the exterior, it will make your report.
For example, the road challenge we mentioned, so you know, say in new in a salon. The road challenge we mentioned, new in a salon. So why then they now one of the challenges way for come up?
Because most of the centers are with the issue for coast water. And some of the roads there, from the roads even with Western Rural, for reach out to certain centers there, it's very, very difficult. And which for we drive them. And we don't get enough of the vehicles there. Also, almost vehicles that we will get from Ministry of Transport and Aviation, of which we appreciate the fact, 22 vehicles. And we have 16 district offices there, 11,832 police stations. I have to reach out all the police stations and they for me they all open within the period of time. So difficult challenge for me. Transport, a difficult one for me. And then we also learn a lot of lessons with that. But as I say, going forward, we will reach out, we'll sit down as a body, as a commission, all staff, we'll do what we call a retreat, looking at our strength, our weaknesses, then we'll go for see where to benefit from this, what our challenge, what our lessons learned so far.
Yeah, but we understand probably like I say, moving forward, I could try for see, areas they want to try for amend and ensure for say not repeat itself again. Because we meant to understand, say one, first the voter registration papers and the ballot papers and becoming a little late because of delay from the flight. And I remember we get one of our director on our Wake Up Saleone, we will mention for say immediately with the paper they land, the next day they distribute them. In fact, that morning they tell me for say they can distribute them right now. Not knowing for say now actually one day, the 23rd, probably now we start for do distribution or we not bring all this delay of papers reaching at the polling station and all these things. But yeah, like how you say, one for no, we think for be moving forward, probably give you a little highlight of recommendations them when I don't put in place moving forward for ensure say such not repeat itself because then that they're all incite violence. People and they see even the people don't have the try use for teach people for me they understand, train people for me they understand how to vote. They were still out there, we be create serious violence and outbreak and all. These were all things when I be for don't ensure for say after I don't use them materials they am, when I destroy them and then focus on waiting at the actual things they want to do.
But this type of election we do, the gross misbehavior of some people is strange. Because we remove and we get rights for move ballot box, despite let's say we don't care who we realize for say cover no this number of boxes not there. Go take box, empty box. You chase the vehicle with empty box.
Well, it all comes back to pre-plan. Well, if now we don't plan them well, all that enough for don't happen.
Yes,
but it wasn't because even the information from one of our director from ECSL, if I was saying that it was a false information because if you don't say the pan distributor right now, we after immediately with I think was it the 19th? I can't really clearly remember the dates where the ballot paper they arrived now Freetown. The next they said they pan distributor as we speak. Not knowing for say not happen. If all those things were done beforehand, I don't think say all this outbreak of violence will actually take place.
You know how many
so you can't blame the people.
How much ballot boxes we need? For every polling stations, now 4 ballot boxes. 11,832 polling stations. So you're talking about up to 50,000 ballot boxes. We don't go take 11,000 from Guinea, or lend, or return back. All right? They don't plan. Like a Western Urban, the office in Mauritown, the house in Wellington, and else for me to have a year for the care box and go. So let us say we'll delay years day. So what do you want you for chase the vehicle, stop the vehicle, beat the driver, scatter everything with empty ballot box? Is it fear on the part?
Was it also communicated? Like, the people then actually know the reason why the motorcar they go? Although nobody know they support a violence act because definitely there's a way for respond to certain things. But communication be there with the people for make them understand, when they take their steps here.
We know very well, say, June 24, we say na election day. Today na election day, June 23, election day. All right? But you see private motorcar, they go on with sticker, ECSL operations. You stop them, the driver stop. You open, you look under the seat, it's an empty ballot box, nothing else. You cause havoc with that. So for left that day, cancel the radio, family will be left with ballot box now from Wellington for go.
No, but what about the staff where they around the people then? Any communication be there between them for make them know why?
I also you see some of the awful pics in our social media. Nobody don't get chance for you follow the people are running for their lives.
Nobody know they support violence, like we say. None of we know will support violence. But we just want to know communication be there between the people and for make them understand some of the activities of the ECSL staff.
You they talk about communication to people in our thugs.
You can still communicate.
I call them thugs because you buy a K road.
No,
you stop vehicle.
Those same thugs are the people who still get for go vote and all these things. But like how Elizabeth they say, if you don't communicate, they call one. The ballot paper is them.
With all respect, you know, as I talk so, it pain me because we know where to go through. Just imagine. I'll give you another scenario. It is the responsibility of the ward coordinator, who we call elections coordinator. Imagine AYV in a whole center. All right. You get a responsibility for take ballot paper from this polling station 1 to polling station 2. If ballot paper done at polling station 3, now the responsibility for the PCM, polling center manager, for take that ballot, say, Usa done, can go Usa day. Well, if you move ballot papers from one polling center to another polling center, as in the case of Poti, moving ballot papers from Boom Syndicate, when I one polling station, to Muslim Union, when I other center, the election coordinator come on attack. So why all ballot paper and I hand, it take and go to the other polling center.
Mr. Jones, the thing
you're not supposed to explain why all the paper.
Because they give you a chance to explain.
Because the current state in the country as well, you actually they see citizens then they struggle for trust.
Yes, you get integrity problem with the system and all. But if communication is there, it helps.
You're questioned within your duty, you're able for explain, say, now this and this, make the people that understand, say, now this would they do, now this would for do.
For that particular one day, the chief stop and tell us, say, no, we check. And then Sabini guy, I know the equipment, they know I'm don't make that as an isolated event. And Sabini, I say, okay, now let's go. Go from few years forward, they attack the man, beat him, chase him. So
it all comes to that's the okay. What should I say? These are moving forward things and all. It is important that you communicate because one, we get integrity issues among we self now the country. We self will not believe even the system and all. And if because of what's on the happen in the past, what they don't see the rig election, all these things and all, it make people like what I say like they're bloody. So whatever that is happening, if you're not communicating, we misunderstand them. And when they misunderstand on other things else go out quick. Saleonians, then the majority of Saleonians, they not get other ways them for for attack or for try for settle issues and all, especially the young man, then they believe in violence and all these things. But if it be done communicated, for say, okay, this so polling station don't material alone done, one for try for, add more and then things and they, if it's been communicated, nothing see them problem with it. But like I was saying, now they try for move forward past election, now because election done and all. Right now, how for me the country go before now we all want to know. So yeah, so what you want to say?
I patiently listen to you. The focus on this word, the emphasis on this word, communicate.
Yeah, because communication is key. It's
Yes,
very
indeed.
important. Even
It's
on
key.
the activities, when you can ask them, make you communicate to the people them.
But I'm pretty sure we were all here. We saw it all with our naked eyes. Crowd of people just bump into you. Say, now wait. I don't for ECSL. This ballot box, an empty one. Oh my God. I never give you a chance for listening. Some of we who saw we did, we see the video picture. But all of that, as I say, moving forward, we get for sit down and look all of that, look at our strength, our weaknesses. These are some of the issues we are going to look at. And see what we will use for the way forward for avoid such kind of policy. It will make people that know we refuse to work for we.
Okay. So, Mr. Jones, we'll get back to you shortly. Maybe we'll go for a short break and we will come immediately for continue the program.
Hi.
Wow, you really look nice.
It's an to now. It's it's a problem on the meter. Top up?
I think say I need to go now because it's not able. When I get light, you can just.
No, I just go back to this. No, please. Just give me 5. Okay, give me 10 minutes. They can just know, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, they can. Please,
okay.
Yeah?
Avoid the stress of lights out. Top up your ECSL meter with AfriMoney anytime, any day, anywhere, rain or shine. It's so easy. Dial *161# and follow the prompts.
A few moments later.
Bro.
AfriMoney, quick and easy.
Every day, the world wakes up to you. Millions of people are getting ready for you. For shopping, travel expenses, utility bills, trade, and commerce. If we all have wishes, then what is your financial transaction wish?
I'd like to have a choice.
I'd like convenience.
I'd like to pay for goods and services on the go.
I'd like to pay utility bills on the go. Out of credit and data, buy some mobile top-up, still on my phone. Oops, light out. I'll buy some ECSL, still on my phone.
I'd like to make payment from my account to another account through my mobile phone.
As a CEO of a company, I would like my staff to receive their salaries through bulk e-payment without the risk of transporting cash.
Rokel Commercial Bank SimCorp does it all.
Rokel Commercial Bank SimCorp. Think of it as
money when you're close to home and when you're away from home for unexpected expenses, and money for those times when cash fails.
If you can dream it, you can become it. If you can imagine it, you can achieve it.
Rokel Commercial Bank SimCorp is all you need.
TransferPay promised Sierra Leoneans in America that remitting money back home would be affordable with ease. It was fulfilled with the lowest transfer fees, best exchange rates, and 24/7 responsive customer service. More users upgraded to level 3, and the platform welcomes more subscribers every day. The November 2021 promo of sending money home with no charge and the best exchange rates increased users and the volume of transactions per day. Now, TransferPay is excited to announce the extension of the zero transfer fees and best exchange rates promotion. But to keep these alive, TransferPay needs at least 1,500 additional subscribers on the platform. So join the Refer a Relative Challenge or Refer a Friend Challenge now. Invite 3 or more family members and friends in America to register and use TransferPay online money transfer. You know me, I'm Samuel Wise Bangura, and I'm participating in this campaign to help 100% Sierra Leonean business grow. My friends and fans, when we're meeting cash from the US, please use TransferPay online money transfer so we make sending money home from America zero transfer fees with the best exchange rate. What are you waiting for? It's fast, easy, secure, and convenient to use the platform.
Welcome back. If not just to join us, this now Wake Up Sierra Leone /SL Decide. This special edition will be do for pre, during, and post election. Of course, we'll be gonna the studio with Mr. Christopher A. Jones, who is still in there with the Assistant Director of Media and Communication from ECSL, for can discuss on the annual report and that of the aftermath election report. Mr. Clifford, thank you for joining me this morning. But lastly, before you go and what are the comments the way you go on for make, or last what you go on for tell Sierra Leoneans them, because they hope and anticipate for get these reports there and probably try for see how not going for try for tackle the other issues then, such as payments and other things then.
The Board of Commissioners will reach out to a communication team who will analyze all recommendations sent in by the different Elections Observation Commission. Will reach out and then we will make sure say people know waiting they recommend say, and then also we will take for legal reform, and then also will take for reserve as we moving forward look for ECSS. After saying that, I will continue for say thank you to the political parties, for the corporations, also to ECOWAS, UNDP, EU for the funding when they have put on these elections, and also to the government of Sierra Leone. We provide a lot of money, we will not strain at all from them. And then to the ad hoc staff, the pooling staff them, who are in a strain, difficulties, please, latest next week, I'm pretty sure we'll get some money, we'll exercise patience, please, and trust the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone as the only body that will provide credible elections for people in our country.
Okay, plenty. Thank you, Mr. Jones. The Assistant Director of Media and Communications now ECSL. And don't forget, you watch we live on channel 33. We also live on DSTV channel 399 and also live on Radio 101.7 FM. And you can send you constructive message on questions or something that we want for clarify on our Facebook page, AYV News.
Well, Fambule will go on for take a story, and then shortly we will continue to now on this morning's discussion.
Everybody say AYV nice hello Sabi. So we say now AYV nice ECSL Sabi. On behalf of the commission and staff, let me welcome you and congratulate the winner for this wonderful project. We know the importance of music, so when the commissioner in charge of voter education and media approached me, say, you know, you want to get this program where they call Cypher, winner for the other people there, winner entertainment, they left, then they follow. Say, I will advise them to partner with them. So we were able to satisfy the other sector of the population. And myself now, music lover, I don't mean a reggae man. I say, well, no problem. Now that's, you know, now you can, it take me some day. But I want my ways, I love you. It comes with some of them old people and they show you, say, yeah, look at this one. This is very good. So I say, you sure? So It takes me some time anyway. I don't just approve, but it takes some time. They love the hate for how I able to approve. Eventually, we approve, and from then I begin follow the activity and appreciate you now. Appreciate you now contribution. We ensure say we bring everybody on board. We not only bring politicians on board, we bring everybody, every sector that is country on board to the electoral process. And this will go in this that this electoral cycle will work with everybody. We partner everybody and we share the heat with everybody. We share the cost with every partner. But at the end of the day, what we want peaceful Sierra Leone. We thank God after the elections, despite concerns from certain sectors, the country is peaceful. And we hope to continue for live as one Sierra Leone. And we continue for work together. Not to the end of the partnership. This ceremony today, we will continue for work with UIB. And special thanks and appreciation to the boss of UIB, Junior Nagos. So, my man, thank you so much. Your partnership with me, I think it don't give dividend. For the fact that we get the large turnout of voters, for the fact that we're able to reduce the voter white vote, it means Saleone don't develop, Saleone don't call for vote in terms of the voters. Special congratulations to the winner. I know the competition will be very hard because I followed many of the programs there, and I see everybody they pull the whole style, and beside them all, they all win. So at the end of the day, just let the election work for us. I'm only one of them. And they are a young man. Right now, they carry the responsibility as a role model. The message will not send a positive message. And they expect the role model when they move up to now will be ambassadors so that more young people will join, so that we will benefit from the talent who will demonstrate. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Only one winner will be for one winner. God bless you all. Thanks.
But it's your call the AYB COO. Thank you for your own statement.
For AYB, the media role for us was very clear. We don't take sides. We always make sure say the right thing be done, give all man equal opportunities in every playing field, including working with the Electoral Commission. One important message for emphasize that this morning as at the time, we saw on the newspaper that the European Union and IMC, that are the Independent Media Commission Regulation Body, commend AYB for the coverage what we do. This is not the European Union. Shows AYB provided a very professional coverage. We give everybody equal opportunity, including young people who have that's a way to do it from the Alpha and different team. So this is a proud moment for AYB, and we are proud of our staff being the leading voice because peace was very important. What do we do? Be mainly guided by peace. So if people are not stealing maybe we know how to say it. We'll not try we'll not do anything for his side. We'll not do anything for the problem and this country. And so whatever we did was towards protecting and promoting the peace of this country. So that dream we ambassador and we never get for young people. And the dream that continues to. We are here today to celebrate young people. This is not the end of it. It's a journey. And let us continue to work together. This country in peace, in security, very important. So one for country that good work there, and to say on behalf of the CEO again, and to I'm now ambassador now for the entire AYB team. Well, thank you, and God bless you. Lord, will continue to do the best for the country. Thank you, God bless.
The ceremony is taking further. The chair will award the certificate to the first person where Mr. Lamy.
AYP Media Empire, in partnership with the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone, Certificate of Achievement. This certificate is presented to Lamy A.N. Conte, aka Fellow. The above named dance group has been part of the AYP Hit District Peace Edition sponsored by the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone, dated 22nd June 2023. signed by Ambassador Nabo Ahmed from Musa. Congratulations, Planning.
I hereby present this certificate of achievement. Also, you have a check of 15,000 new leons to your name. Certificate, and you have a check of 5,000 new leons to your name. Congratulations.
This certificate is presented to Lovely Best, led by Hawanatu Sharif. Congratulations.
To chair and board, we want to thank Una for the support Una give to this group. This group is sending a proposal where the commission look into the proposal through the help of the ECOWAS funds and provide support to this team.
We really are grateful to ECSL for partnering with us throughout this journey. It was a wonderful journey. We also want to thank God today. We hope there no accident throughout the trip to the various districts. We began at 3 a.m. 1, 2 a.m. and there was no incident at all.
Mr. Commissioner, thank you for accepting to speak to us. Just quickly, what does this partnership with AYV to get young people involved in the electoral process and the preaching of peace mean to the process itself?
I think, as I mentioned earlier, our objective has always been to bring everybody to participate in the electoral process and bringing the young people to bring their talents and encourage their young compatriots to participate in the electoral process was well demonstrated in the polls, for the fact that we were able to reduce the number of void votes, for the fact that we had a large turnout on the polling day. It demonstrated that the cooperation with the AYV, when in Saleone Sabi, yielded the needed objectives that we set the partnership for.
All right, I want to share you from Lumley Best. You emerged the best dance group in the AYV Hit the Street Peace Election Edition, sponsored by the ECSL. First off, what does that mean to the group?
It means a win-win, and of course we're winners. Yeah, the performers were winners too, but we're the winners. And of course we want to say thank you to the ECSL, AYV Cypher team, and to our soul supporters and many more people who went there to support us.
Well, I'm just so happy right now because it's like a dream come true. That happened. And, for this all not for happening, it's not to AYV. So in the first place, I want to thank AYV because they make them kind of platform that way that they know say somebody like we they exist. And right now, me say don't feel say are important in our society because just take a look. Damn, I'm so happy.
These are the Africa Young Voices Media Empire, and we motto say the voice of the young generation. And the voice of this young generation don't be heard loud and clear. And we'll continue for ensure say that voice be left an indelible mark in the landscape of Saleone, Africa, and the rest of the world. Until we meet again, I have been Samuel Wise Bangura.
It's Fambo, welcome back. You still they watch Wake Up Saleone special SL Decides program Naya on AYV channel 33, also on radio 101.7 FM and on DSTV channel 399. We're also there live on AYV News Facebook page. Don't forget to drop your questions and comments. We'll actually find them within the program for reader. Just know you be watch the AYV ECSL Cypher and Hit the Street special elections edition where them being present winners to then we present prizes to the winners, and of course the winner then for the AYV Uncensored, they are being Namin and Conte, we then can also call Tello. And the second position have been Joshua K. Bokari, we then can call OG Sweet. And the third position have been Ishmael B. Kamara, we then can call CG Mayboy. Next we want for see Woman take one of them leading positions. And for the Hit the Street winner, then the winner have been Romney Best, second position RDC, and third position B2K. Now back to the studio for make we continue the discussion this morning.
Yeah, so as we say, Fambulem, we get forget few guests, and of course the guests that don't come. We now the newly appointed press secretary, Mr. Solomon Jamiu. We newly appointed. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
So of course we know for see you don't work as Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs and that of information, and you don't do a lot of engagements with the media. So you being the newly appointed press secretary and all, what are the differences we get for make?
So make publicly use the opportunity for thank President Bio for the trust, for the confidence, for bringing me in, for offering me the appointment as press secretary. I think a huge honor, and I'm also grateful to God and the many people from family to friends, colleagues, who don't help me to Usai Adon Day today. I think I owe them a debt of gratitude, and I think I have to start by paying that tribute. And also to the media family, the media industry, with which I have worked extensively, as you don't mention, first in 2018 as Information and Communications Deputy Minister, to Foreign Affairs, to COVID, back to Information, and now as Press Secretary. So essentially, I see this as an extension of my work. Just that now I deal directly and specifically with the presidency. But for me, not just for continue for tell me Fambul and say the office of the press secretary exists because of the media. The name itself suggests Nami the anchor messaging, communications, press relations, public relations around the presidency. And for make this office get value, impact, and meaning, it's the media that should continue giving me the platform. So for me, I cherish the media, and that's why I started off by paying courtesies yesterday. I'll be supposed for day as well at 11 o'clock, but for an important event in our State House, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that in a short while. So now that make I not come AYV. And then courtesies for me important for make we continue for demonstrate, say, it's all about the media. If what the president does has to go out into the public domain and to the wider world, it's the press that would have to create for me the platform. So for me, this is what it means. About what I will do new, a lot of those discussions day on, but as you know, is subject to overall directions. The president appoints me, but I think there are things we'll have to do more. Maybe one of the things I would want to start doing when it's appropriate, maybe at some point intermittently get press briefings at State House.
Okay.
So,
sorry,
a lot of those things we'll talk about them.
No problem. Apologies. We'll get back to you shortly. Of course, we'll get another guest with me in the studio. We now Sally Turner, the acting president of Saleone Union on Disability Issues. We're in safe the union put the request president for bill for appoint persons with disability, especially either administration and all these things. But of course, we'll come back. We'll come to you shortly, Mr. Sally. We will continue to you, Mr. Solomon Jamil. So, of course, as Philippa mentioned, we went to understand that activities of the president, they on the media, and we're living in a world of technology, and social media plays a key role in society because that's how we get to information. Having access to information with president activities in State House very difficult unless if you get an inside person there and all. So waiting at the thing where you being the press secretary for ensure that you do for ensure that media the people are not going to stream for getting information, and that's of even the ordinary man, because if we're having difficulties in accessing information, of course the thing will go happen after go to escalate false information. So waiting at the thing we get for do for ensure say such happen and you go to update the unions them on activities of the president.
So I just don't mention about maybe having press briefings in State House. If we get for do that, of course, the accreditation process has to be narrow. As we know, there are security protocol implications. But this nature will discuss with the press through the hierarchy, and the media institutions, but make sure they work out a proper accreditation process. But even for the one who might not have the opportunity for access them directly, if we're able to create the channel so that what we do, we populate in the several. A lot of what in President Bio they do, I think they are being pushed out, but I think there is room for improvement. So for example, I was trying to read through what makes the office of a press secretary effective. And I'm guided by one, having a clear-cut strategy, building up a team, creating a ring of public influencers. And I think that's what relates to your question. So if you now have a narrow scope of media people who take out your stories, what do you do for complement them? So for example, you now have to start looking at public influencers
quite apart from the media, more or less an extension of the media platform. But as I say, my work, I'm appointed by the president, so which means even my thoughts, my ideas are subject to overall direction. And so we are thinking them through. Already they work with a fantastic team in the State House, some of them quintessential professionals. Tanu Jallo is there, Mike Berawa is there, Director of Communications. So then people then there with the rest of the staff are helping me or figure out some of their ideas. So part of my work is to continue the beautiful work that has been started, but also what are some of the innovative ideas we can bring for deepening and widening the relations with the press and for make sure say we create the visibility for the presidency that is required. So now some of them things then they would try.
So of course, we don't mention, of course, how you want to deepen the relationship with that of the press, but we'll go on for know a detail of how you intend for improve that with the traditional media, because there are times, sometimes information then will come out about the president, but with the media, the traditional media not get access or get for verify the information there, then we can just go ahead and publish those information. But for ensure for such things not they happen, but you do not get an open hand open hand to that of the traditional media for ensure doors are open to them for whenever or whatever information they will need. Tell me how you intend for doing and what's therefore be the activities then for try for ensure for so you bring these people here closer.
So I agree with you. So first, messaging around the presidency and what he does is important for me in a timely manner and in a professional manner. We push them out as fast as we could. That is important. But you also get situations where people would want to have access to key and critical information. So I therefore make sure, say, my office, my doors are open. That not mean say, every journalist would have to have access because as I say, even we self with the work, we are subject to security protocols. But important, I am aware the media in Sierra Leone get a structure. I'm aware there are channels through which we could communicate to the media and the media could also reach us. So, and it's a good thing that I also paid my courtesy yesterday with the executive of SLAG. So we started in discussions then. So maybe what we need for do now for look at that structure and evaluate with channels of communication and see in which areas maybe we have been experiencing challenges in terms of the channels and what we can do for make sure, say, we improve on the channel of communication so that those messages go out faster, but also information is a key and critical right. So people should also be able to access that. So then two ways then we are investigating them. We're trying to build a system, build a clear strategy, and the media for also know some of the things that way they guide our operations. But I agree with you of fundamental importance and for make sure say that channel exists for access information. And that is what I would pledge to do.
Okay, so before I go over to Sadu Ture, the acting president for Suludi, I want to ask, before now we don't see an office when the press secretary and presidential spokesman, and now there's a split between the two offices. You have to explain to me why that happened and within a your role, and if you know go overlap with that of the presidential spokesperson.
Thank you. I will not go speak to why it happened because I'm coming in newly. And but what you have to say now this? When I just came into government in 2018, maybe the first 6 months, 1 year, 2 years of a lot of ministers were busy talking about my mandate overlaps with your mandate, my responsibility conflicts with your responsibility. And we really spent a lot of time talking about conflict. Now, after 5 years, I don't look back and I say, we need to spend more time now for talk about how we complement ourselves. So maybe the quickest analogy I would want to draw is take Real Madrid. You want to look at Vinicius Junior. You want to look at Benzema. Vinicius Junior sometimes he plays 7, but seamlessly he switches to number 11, and then the number 11 no go talk say no, you know go can't play na me way.
I don't say they can confuse we.
It's a big fan.
We don't understand football, but go ahead, sir.
So the number 11 no go talk say no, Vinicius you know can't play. Benzema they play number 9. And now go talk say no, Vinicius not to you for be the target person, not to you for score. Now me for score all goals. So what are they saying now that? And even in the home, the man and the woman cooks, but that not mean say the man not go cook. So the message is there is a presidential spokesperson, there is a press secretary, my business now for anchor press and public relations. So he's a fantastic guy. He's a legend in the field. So I think what we do more now for compliment we self and will not spend time on putting a mandate, putting a mandate. At the end of the day, is what helps President Julius Maada Bio to deliver better and his stories go out better and the people get understanding and trust for the office and they're able to give thumbs up that they have a president who stands up for them. So that's what we are doing as a football team.
Okay, thank you. We'll get back to you, Sean. Also.
You know, after this, we actually ask people this time, McLean and Yemi for actually help with
this football thing. So I understand because you lost me. You actually lost me, but it's okay. So over to you,
Sally. So tell me, we see a call from the Sierra Leone Union on Disability Issues for actually get President Bill for appoint persons with disability. Tell me small but that call day.
Thank you very much. Firstly, before I come to your question, we want to congratulate His Excellency the President. Fambule and Go members say less than 1 month ago, Sierra Leone be enter into elections, and His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio emerged as the president, continuing president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. So the community of persons with disability, SLUDI, we decided that we also add with voices to the many congratulatory messages for the victory with Excellency achieved on the 24th of June elections. Yes, so coming to your question, we agree that after the elections, the president don't begin for appointing ministers and make other appointments. We're glad that, for the first time, we see a lot of appointment of young people, with very, 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 very high positions, because the president believes those young people will be able to deliver very, very well into the cabinet. And we appreciate that kind of move that we don't take. We also see the appointment of women. That's an accomplishment of the 30% quota where the Jewish bill they talk about. In fact, it exceeds that. But what we yet not see it, the appointment of persons with disabilities. We know that, yes, the president over the past 5 years don't do so much for persons with disabilities in this country. And I'm pretty sure he cannot afford losing them to be part and parcel of his governance system. So now that make we think necessary for call on His Excellency the President for never forget, and I know say never forget, persons with disabilities, we're also very qualified and competent for be part and parcel of the governance structure of the country.
Sally, you're not a person, you represent people that way who are abled in a different way, uniquely, So is it that this call now, because una not get the trust, say, other people that no able represent una or una just wonder number, they say, we self get people that way able in a different way, like we're also the part of cabinet or other appointments?
We want to say that we trust everybody. We don't work with persons with disability, able-bodied person. We trust that. But in a society, we say you get different vulnerable groups. We also think are necessary. Mind you, for many, many years, we know they see young people into governance. We know they see so many women into governance. We know they see persons with disability into governance. But now, we see so many young people holding important positions, which we appreciate and we're glad for. We see women coming into governance now, which we also appreciate. So we want to also see persons with disability, sit at cabinet, discuss issues where actually they affect them. That notwithstanding, we know they say that we know they trust able-bodied persons for discuss issues where relating to persons with disability. But also we also think that the more the merrier, that when persons with disability actually discuss their own issues, it goes a very, very long way to understanding those issues. As the adage says, he who feels it knows it. So now only when you get that kind of people into those governance system, then you can understand better.
So, Mr. Sally, you for give us statistics of people away, with disability, we feel say go actually go be fit enough for ministerial or other appointments. Them the statistics probably.
I will tell you that we get qualified and competent persons with disability. I mean, some of them get international experience, some of them also get national experience. I mean, our advocacy, we know the president has been dealing with persons with disability for over time now. In fact, I will tell you, say, even 1996, when he was head of state, he'd been dealing with persons with disability. When he came in 2018, he began to deal with persons with disability, qualified persons with disability, competent ones for that matter. So nobody no go tell him, say, appoint this, appoint that, appoint that. He knows exactly what he's doing, just as he did for the young people, just as he did for the women. So also it would do. We get a lot and lot of competent and qualified people that we get a lot of experiences nationally and internationally for serve into any positions of trust that is given to them.
Okay, so speaking of such requests and all, how effective you feel say a disabled person will actually go for fit into position, being that there was an instance of the Attila incident will be happened where I not really remember, but to be served as a deputy for somewhere, and of course will be meant to understand, say, we come out on the public, a lot of things may happen with people and they actually feel so disappointed and all because people were excited that we get somebody person with disability where they represent the nation in a very good position, but yet it wasn't, the position was misused, probably I could say. So what thing would be you won't take off for ensure say such not go repeat itself?
We will mention that as just one case, but we will also say how many cases not they happen between able persons in terms of conflict. I mean, that's just one case. I mean, when they, I mean, we don't want to talk about this, and the rebel war coming to Sierra Leone, we not see any disabled person who participated in that. Rather, people became disabled as a result of the war. When confusion, every time confusions they happen, we know they see persons with disability, they participate into that. So we know we only use that one case for beat the entire disabled community and think, say, there are no other competent people. We go deliver very, very well. His Excellency the President, please and well, for appoint those kind of people. So we know they use just that one case for narrow down to everything that disability or disabled people not go able to deliver. So I want to assure you, I want to assure the public and His Excellency the President and the government and people of Sierra Leone that any qualified and competent disabled person will become appointed will actually deliver very, very well.
Okay, so we will come back to you shortly. Maybe we'll go back to Mr. Jamil. So, Mr. Jamil, we don't see incidents of classified information going out to the public from that of the, State House, and of course, some of information there, we not classify information, they're not meant for be out of the public because it will either, cause problem or then things. And it's like where you get, you get the head of a company, some information you don't want to tell your employees, and because it will create tension and all these things. But then they see some information that they leak out for State House, and then so we want to know how you go ensure for say such not will happen, because it clearly speaks that there's an insider there who then can do their job then there and all these things, which you could be do different function for say such thing not repeat itself.
Thank you. As serious as that breach is, it got difficult to make us say it not go happen. Because as you know, there are things you have control over, there are things you don't have control over. What you know more, I will say that it's a concern, and really the world over, even the Supreme Court of the United States, maybe before judges then they rule on something, you see somebody don't put out something. So sometimes it's difficult to control, but it's a very serious breach of ethics. And I think one, the Civil Service Code speaks against it, and two, also good for the security of the presidency and government, and even for the image of the country. So it's something that we'll be looking at, then conversation already there on. My office is just one facet of the presidency. We also have executive officers and other. The statutory president is also there. So together as a team, we will make sure we do what it takes for ring fence that process and provide the best protection possible.
Is there a role or consequences we will person will face if they catch somebody responsible for such?
I think the Civil Service Code is one of the things where they sign up to confidentiality. So I would assume that yes, there is.
So for a minute, we'll talk about the appointment of cabinet members, the designate ministers as at the moment. Now, I go on for make you take me through the list and also tell me what are some of the
that list.
well, just
summary,
just
actually,
a summary, yes.
summary.
And for make you actually tell me what are some of the qualifications and experience of some of them people, yeah.
Well, one of the person where maybe I will talk about, well, because now that ministry I they come off from, even though now the ministry don't be divided. First, it was information and communications. So Chernobyl comes in as Minister of Information, as somebody who get a wealth of experience locally and internationally. As somebody who able to market a brand, able to speak clearly to issues. As somebody who elect Saleone, and as somebody who stand for development. So somebody like Dandy, a person who almost readily and naturally inclined for speak for and on behalf of the government of Sierra Leone, talk about activities, popularize policies, and also because na gender activist and INSEF get a very strong, like me, coming from civil society, as somebody who also go believe say having access to information is a right. So I think he's one person where academically very strongly get very strong academic inclination and knowledge and expertise. And the person where they come in as Minister of Communications, Salima Tuba, and a colleague as well from the bar, and instead of work extensively in the Directorate for Science, Technology and Innovation. Saleone maybe will be late small for do a split, because in a good number of countries now that they talk about communications, digital economy, and all. So I think now that we have a ministry specifically for communications, technology, and innovation, now person where I think they get a wealth of experience, and we go look forward for make sure say we promote President Julius Maada Bio in digital transformation agenda. So by the time I come up from the ministry, there was a World Bank funding of $50 million for digital transformation. We now get a new Communications Act, because communications don't expand. It's a vast and expansive field. So having a minister who dedicated to that task, I think it's good for we, and it gets the relevant experience as well. Madam Kenya Bali for planning and economic development. She worked under President Amati Jan Kaba, a fantastic woman. They work, I think they work now at the African Development Bank at a very senior level. So these are people, when it comes to planning and economic development, they get the expertise, and she will prove herself in that area as well. The Minister of Finance continues, Sheku. He comes from Bretton Woods, from the World Bank, a person where he's known in international corridors. He gets a very strong sense of innovative financing. So with the challenges they get around exchange rates, inflation, as somebody who I believe say within team, then go take steps for the address some of them. So it's a long list. We're not able to go into all. But I believe President Bio has put together a fantastic team. Is there room for improvements? Like my brother Naya, they talk about persons with disability. President Bio is a very inclusive person. In mantra, and leave no one behind. We see in the report where the Electoral Commission presented yesterday, the 2022 report, one of the things where through the support from partners, and the fact that I think they're able to set up persons with disability desks in districts. So that's a good start. So it means with 30.4% women now in parliament, it means say we can begin for see how for improve on their one day. I cannot specifically or definitively speak to his request, but like when somebody say we want to talk to Papa, talk to him again.
Yes, because I'm a messenger.
But he's very much committed to inclusivity.
Okay, so so speaking of the newly appointees, and of course there are rumors circulating for say some of the people already replaced are being sacked, and also of course you don't start your job already, you work already. So we'll go on for now. Some of these people already replaced, are they going to be given different other positions in different ministries, or would think will be your own destiny? Some of them.
I would have loved to provide as much answer to that, but I'm not privy to that information. That's for the president to decide. And we know as colleagues, we all don't get opportunity for serve, and we all just wish we serve well. President could decide to reassign. President could appoint. President could relieve. And what we can say now that we wish we serve well in that direction. And I believe President Bio will always take the best judgment in the interest, in the public interest.
With these new appointments as well, we see many new. Firstly, we go also one for no, although you know, go able to speak to the list as you say rightly, because it's a long list. But then, are people with the right qualifications selected for the right positions? And of course, we see new people there as well. Are these people where you think say that are able to help for push the governance of the country go before, or are we at a standstill, or maybe we will move at a slower pace?
No, I agree with you, because having the relevant experience important, especially for areas where you go in are highly specialized in technical areas. So for example, we talk about planning and economic development. Madam Kenya Bali, she has the relevant experience, the qualification, and all. Low see this appointment with President Julius Maada Abdon make for we big brother, Honorable Dr. Kande Yumkela. We're at the Presidential Initiative for Climate Change, Food Security, and Energy. Honorable Kande Yumkela, apart from the academic qualification that he has, he get a wealth of experience. He's a strong lobbyist. He's a very strong and consummate advocate. We don't see him with it now, Director General for UNIDO. We see what he do for advocate for the whole world for specific things, whether from climate change, from renewable energy. So a broad range of areas where it don't interact with for the better part of in life at an international level. So now that President Bio has rolled out the big 5 thematic priorities for government, and the first one are feed Saleone, you know, and also with the fact that this government in the last 5 years on renewable energy, we pushed it from about 12% to 35%. You need somebody like Dandy, who is not just known locally for able to mobilize stakeholders and the agricultural ecosystem for deliver on President Bio's agenda, but somebody who also is known in the international circles, somebody we respected. So that's one new appointment, and somebody like Dandy, we believe he can deliver on Dandy. You get several other people then with President do appoint, like I don't talk about my colleague in communications. So yes, experience very key, and I believe these are people who will deliver in the positions that they are. We therefore understand, say, part of the challenge had always been the bureaucracy. And this nothing we don't define administration year in, year out. So the 4th priority for we, na public service transformation. No matter how brilliant you are, no matter how fantastic your ideas are, no matter how you lex alone as a president, if you don't have the bureaucracy to work with you and align with your agenda, with the capacity, with the mindset, with the attitude, it go difficult for you to succeed. So with all of these fantastic ministers, they will now have to work with the bureaucracy, and transforming the bureaucracy in a part of the agenda. So I believe President Julius Maada Bio has made the best judgment in the public interest, and I believe supported by the existing bureaucracy, they should be able to do well, all of us.
Mr. Jemmy, we'll get back to you shortly. Maybe we'll go to Mr. Saleone. So, Mr. Saleone, Nadipa request that President Maada Bio go for appoint persons with disability in terms of governance, running of the government and all. Fambulem, some people are curious of, persons with disability, how they for do, things them and all. Take me through, especially in terms of documentation, signing and all these things. Of course, you have to read for ensure for say you're signing the proper documents and things like that. They may not go know, like I say, who feels it, knows it. So take me through how I came for doing things and the.
Thank you very much. My big brother did talk about technology, and that's I've also show you that disabled people don't move ahead in technology. So we know they talk about saying documentation. If you appoint a disabled person, it will be strenuous for them for do documentation. But even a visually impaired person, he will use computer, he will do a lot in the computer. So let alone for a physically challenged person or other category. So when it comes to documentation, I would assure you that that's not a problem. That's not just something where persons with disability over the years don't get a lot of trainings through different organizations. So that not for be any stumbling block for the judgment where His Excellency will make for appointing a person with disability in the governance.
Okay, so lastly, because we're about to close the program, what will be your message out there and that of the president himself as well?
All right.
As you know, Mr. Jamil will say we want to talk to, the
Yeah.
papa you get for pass through the Peking. So he's the
Exactly.
messenger and he's here, and I believe the rest of the world also they listen.
And I'm also happy that he was my senior at the Prince of Wales. So good. And so I want to say that congratulate also the Minister of Social Welfare designate, Madam Melrose, and I hope we will continue can build on the existing structures of the social welfare, and we have no doubt that His Excellency don't choose them, but we also want to say plenty thank you to Madam Dasama. I mean, I want to say she's been a fantastic woman in that ministry, dealing with persons with disability. I want to say plenty thank you to her for all the years we don't spend at the ministry and the work that we don't do at the ministry for improve the lives and conditions of persons with disability. We want to let this message to His Excellency the President that, is a man who has very careful judgment whenever he wants to take decision. I listened to somebody some time ago that it's difficult to judge. They know the angle where they come out whenever you want to take a decision. So we believe and we trust that he's going to make persons with disability part of his governance, and is going to also ensure that the government become a very inclusive one. So I want to say plenty thank you to His Excellency the President and the government and people of Sierra Leone and all those way over the years don't continue for support persons with disability. That disability is not inability, and we're sure if we are given the right opportunity, we will continue to deliver. And I want to also say that the Commission for Persons with Disability is a very important commission, is a very important body that implements government policies, and we want to also see that a competent and qualified person has been put into that kind of commission for continue for drive the aspirations of His Excellency the President. Once again, thank you to everybody for listening.
Okay, so Mr. Jamil, of course, not all appointments has been made by the president. They're still, position yet being, occupied. Of course, the PA himself, the PA advocates and all these things. We'll go on for know when for expect probably the next list of appointments, appointees then.
Well, all what I will know if there's going to be any subsequent appointment when it happens. The people will know.
Safekeeping.
The people will know.
Okay.
But again, for me, on last word, as I say, my business not the press. President Julius Madabio for the last 5 years don't do a fantastic work for and on behalf of the people of Saleone. Anyone for continue or consolidate the gains, but also see how we can chart new territories, explore new opportunities for we people. My business now for work with the press for make sure say we create that visibility there for them. And I believe that we will continue to maintain that relationship. I want to assure members of the press, as I sit on at AYVR today, say this office of press secretary exists for you. Not only UNA will help me for make a meaningful, relevant, and impactful. So make we work together for make sure say we all deliver for Mama Saleone. Thank you.
Okay, plenty thanks to you, Solomon Jamil, the newly appointed press secretary to the president, of course, na State House, and of course to you, Sally Toure, the acting president for Sludi. We'll get there also this morning, and they all don't talk on the different roles and responsibilities, and also Sally also don't talk on the call to the government and the president, of course, forget disabled persons in different governance positions.
Yeah, so of course we hope for receive the next list of new appointees, then because like also we aim now for try to see what's going to go moving forward and all these things. And but of course this now Wake Up Saleone / SL Decide on a special program for pre, during, and aftermath of elections. We don't take on to continue and ensure for say we take on to until the whole everything is been settled, governance and everything is ready and ready for move forward. Me, your name now Sonia Jafar.
Emina Elizabeth Momona. So we go left you, but before we go, or when we go, so now we left you with the AYV and ECSL Cypher and hit the state presentation of prizes. See you next time. Tata.
Oh yeah, Talking Point platform, TTPTV. Oh yeah. royalty. To we sweet, sweet mama Saleone. Now we all come together as one. For tomorrow, now we gon' make Saleone.
Attention, attention. Are you hungry for the latest insights on politics and good governance issues from the motherland, Sierra Leone? Look no further than Talking Points, your go-to platform for engaging discussions. Subscribe today and let your voice surge. Talking Points is where smart minds come alive. Subscribe now.
With Talking Points platform, you can dive into thought-provoking discussions, connect with like-minded individuals, and broaden your horizons. Be among the first to know the latest happenings in Sierra Leone. Join us today, subscribe, on YouTube, TPP Leone. Like our page, on Facebook, at Talking Points platform. It's your voice, you are in control. We believe in you. Subscribe now. Like our page. We love you.
Country slow, we want for no. Why not they grow? Yeah, hey bo, we want for no. We want for no. Waiting make we country they go slow. Waiting making all they grow. Yes, so I can for sure. Yes, I can for sure. Then see them way they make we know they grow. Say now we they die pampo. If I they try for go before, I beg bo. Do ya not make us slow? No. If I try for raise the tempo, do ya not make them low? Yes, so if I try for go before, I beg go. Do ya not make us slow? No. If I try for raise the tempo, do ya not make them low? Yes, so before they do them thing now we go make we gladdy, thing now we go make we happy, thing now we go make we country laddie daddy. So we go live in unity. Yes, so before they do them thing now we go make we gladdy, thing now we go make we happy, thing now we go make we country laddie daddy. So we go live in harmony. Yes, so don't we for do them thing now we go make we smarter, thing now we go make we stronger, thing now we go make we nation last much longer. So we life them go better. Yes, so but we for left them thing now we go make we scatter, thing now we go bring palava, thing now we go make we nation well panambara, make we people scatter.
Continue you talk about.
Thing them like half flavor plava, political party wahala. Thing them we go make we agba, them put we country pan yakba. Sing along say hey bo, we want for no, we want for no. Waiting make we country they go slow, waiting making all they grow. Yes, so I can for sure. Yes, I can for sure them thing them way they make we know they grow. Say now we did that, yes, so make we show them thing now we go make we kick po, thing now we go make we country go before. Mama, yes, so thing now we go make we grow, thing now we go make we left for go slow, make baby gladdy for Bobo show. Alright, so if I perform, me on perform, you say for gladdy for watch you watch. If I sing, me young sing, you say for gladdy for dance you dance. Before they do them thing now we go make we gladdy, thing now we go make we happy, Thing that we go make we country laddie daddy. So we go live in unity. Yes, so before they do them thing that we go make we gladdy. Thing that we go make we happy. Thing that we go make we country laddie daddy. So we go live in harmony. Yes, so sing along, say hey, hey, bo, bo. We want for no, waiting make we country they go slow. Waiting make it not they grow. Yes, so oh, I can for sure. Yes, I can for sure them thing them way they make we know they grow. Say now we they die pampo.
We the pray, but still things not the change. How we go before when we still get evil ways. Let we try to change your ways and let we love for free. Hey, love one another.
If I do me thing then, you step for try do thing then. Make we all do thing then. Saleone prosper thing then. If I like you thing then, you step for like me thing then. Make we all like we thing then. Saleone prosper thing then. Before they do them thing then, thing that we go make we gladdy. Thing that we go make we happy. Thing that we go make we country laddie daddy. So we go live in harmony. Yes, so sing along, say hey. Before they do them thing then, thing that we go make we gladdy. Thing that we go make we happy. Thing that we go make we country laddie daddy. So we go live in harmony.